this computer. So hi everybody. Again, this is Kamisha, your wonderful host, or so I think. Well, welcome to Sincere Heart Woman Vlog. And with me, I have my beautiful friend, my sister, and I got to give you some Jamaican terminology in there, my brethren, okay? We're going to be talking, chit-chatting about confidence as, from a woman's standpoint. Like, honestly, that's something where there's a serious deficit. So we want to talk about that. So Sarah, introduce yourself and tell them who you are.
Hello, my name is Sierra, and I get to be here with my big sister. Listen, it's so funny how we met, but that's another day, another story. However, my name is Sierra. I'm a mother of 5 wonderful children. I am a entrepreneur, an author, a motivational speaker. You name it, I've probably done just a little bit of it. I'm joking, y'all, but as you can see, I do quite a few things, but one of the best things that I can honestly say I am is a daughter of God. That is one of the privileges I have to actually say, I know that I'm a child, a daughter of the Most High God. And that's the things that sometimes we take for granted. Even today, I was like, oh my God, we take that for granted, out of all of our accomplishments, out of, who we are, what we do. I'm a child of God, and I'm so excited about that. So that's who I am.
Wow. Honestly, Sarah, even saying I'm a child of God is confident saying that, because some people still are ashamed and afraid. If I can put it that way, ashamed and afraid to say they're a child of God. It's okay for us to say, like it, you said you're a mom. I'm a mom also. I got 2, but it feels like 2,000. It is what it is. And, amongst other things. But like you said, I am, being a child of God, it takes great confidence, especially in this season, and to own that right to say, I belong to God. I have my career, I have my business, and so forth. However, at the core of, where I stand is I brag on that I'm a child of God. So tell me, how did you get to this this woman where you could step out? Entrepreneur, listen, it takes great confidence to step out, because these younger generation, they're moving at a different pace than I did, so they're a little bit more confident than when I was their age. So how did you move out into that arena now to say, I'm going to do this?
I will be 100% honest. A lot of things I did scared. I did it afraid. After I got to the point to where I said, you know what, I'm going to face my fears. I'm going to drop some of these insecurities. To be honest, some of them were still there. I quote unquote jumped. They were still there. But the more I began to push myself, the more I faced my fears, the more I stopped being afraid of rejection, the more I stopped being afraid of fear. I saw another level of confidence begin to come upon me. So sometimes it's not about being 100% confident when you're entering into a new phase of life, or, a friendship, relationship. Sometimes you gain confidence on the way as you're moving, as you're progressing. Old things begin to fall off, and I think honestly that's where mine came from. I didn't start off just jumping. Like, I started off kind of tiptoeing a little bit.
I wonder if it will work. I wonder if it's going to fail.
Exactly. And I started off just that. And once I stopped being afraid to fail, that's when I began to see another level, another layer of confidence come upon me. And it's been a journey. It still is. Every day is a different journey. Every day I have to decide to be confident, because being confident is a decision. Wow. It's a consistent decision that you make with yourself, not other people, because I'm not confident just to look that way. I'm confident because I have done some internal work within the inside of me.
Yes.
And that's where true confidence comes from. It comes from, oh, somebody calling me. Oh, it didn't click off. Send a voicemail. Okay.
Mhm.
Did it click off?
No, keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Somebody called me. I should have went and do not disturb, but but confidence, it came from me just digging deep within, really finding out who Sierra was, not who I portrayed to be, but who I really was. And to be honest, I love this journey because I'm still discovering new things about me.
Wow.
The journey doesn't, you don't just, show up and that's it. No, I believe that there is a lifelong journey that you take. It's a daily decision to have confidence because you can be given something and you can lose it. It can be taken, it can be stolen. Let's just think about mistaken identity or somebody's stolen identity
Mm.
or, something to that fact. Like you can lose it. It can be stolen from you. You ever get in a relationship or have you ever been in a bad relationship and you started off with confidence and somewhere along the way you just lost it? You
Yep.
ever hear the term, oh, she lost herself. She
Yes.
lost confidence. And you can actually lose it. So that's why I said you have to make a consistent decision to consistently show up in a confident way.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a journey. This thing is a journey. It's not a race. It is definitely a journey. And the more you walk on this journey of
Mhm.
confidence, the
Yeah.
more you discover, the more I believe that God will reveal to you, the more He will allow you to see the gifts and talents and the abilities that He put in you. And sometimes that can be the confident because many of us, we're like, I don't have any gifts. I don't have any talent. This person is more talented than I am. But when God begins to reveal to you, like, no, I put this in you, I put that in you, and you're like, oh,
Wow.
wait a minute. You know what? He did put that in me. Okay. And it's not arrogance. Some people think that confidence is arrogance. It's not. It can be a thin line. Sometimes it can be real close, but it's all in the motive of your heart.
I love that. I love that. It's all in the motive of your heart. Sarah, and we just talking. And one of the things is I said, I want it to be as natural as possible. Because people sometimes, when you're having conversation, it's not rehearsed. It's not.
Right,
Right. So the
right.
phone call might come in and the kids might scream. And I want it to be just that natural.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And I want to say this because going back to how we met, right? I'm gonna put on some music because I like background music. So
Right.
how we met, we met at a church, and I'll never forget this. I was, I'm the late bug. I'm the late bug. I think I wind up with my last patient. I was running late from work, and being a nurse, sometimes you just get stuck. You just get stuck. And my best friend had invited me to this thing at our church, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming. And it's supposed to start at 6 o'clock, but 6 o'clock, I wasn't even home yet. So when I got home and got ready, and I'm like, this don't even make no sense. Why am I
Right.
going? And even, I'm like, okay, let me go. I got pushed to go, and I went. And let me tell you honestly, it took great confidence that night when I met you. Sis, that was confident because at first, and like you said, the way it started out, you gain it on the road, right? Because when I started out, I was shaky. I was like, say what? I am not about to say anything to this young lady. She's going to think I'm weird, but I developed a little ounce of confidence to say, okay, let me just do this. And I did. And look, over the years now, was 2, 3 years now, it has
Hey,
been such a wonderful experience. And more, we have confidence we can pick up the phone and talk to each other in a drop of a second,
right,
so that's good. That's really, really good. It's so important for women to own a place in confidence. Why? I say
right,
this because if not, your self-esteem remain damaged and you become a target for stuff to be done to you, meaning you'll be used, you'll be abused, you'll be traumatized.
Right.
You know, you just become the doormat, because remember, people will pick up that, okay, there's a shaky spot right there. We probably can. And honestly, not everybody is nice. Not everybody, and not because they don't want to be nice. Some people just don't know how to be nice. They weren't taught how to be nice. And so if they don't have that person or individuals in their life to teach them otherwise, then they take, low self-esteem as an opportunity to use and abuse someone. It is what it is. And so how do you help another sister out there like us, get to a place where, you're an entrepreneur, where you can say, okay, be confident in who you truly are, not in the person that they make you up to be, but in the person. Let me tell you, snatch my hair off, snatch my makeup off, I'm still this, I'm still Kim, period. Right? So how do you tell another girl that?
I tell women that we can dress it up.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you have to be confident, like you say, without the makeup, with the naked you. You have to be confident in your nakedness. And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about spiritually. You have to be at a place where you're okay with being honest with not just other people, but being honest with God where you are. That's how your confidence is actually built. So your real confidence is not built outside of God.
Ooh.
See, before the world, we thought confidence was, oh, I show up with my Louis bag, I show up, with the latest technology, with my iPhone 13, I show up with, the red bottoms. That's what we dress confidence as, being in. But when you get over on Christ's side, you realize that is dung. Like Paul say, I count it dung. That's nothing. To having a confidence in God, because that's where it starts. It starts with God building you up from the inside out, and then it radiates out. So like you said, it doesn't matter if I have makeup on. It doesn't matter if I don't feel like I best. I'm still confident. Why? Because I know who I am in God.
Exactly.
People are not really understanding that when you find your identity, self-esteem and confidence is in that by default.
Ooh, by default, sis.
By default. When you really learn your identity in Christ, all of those come with that by default. You don't have to try to piece it together. No, when I really start believing who I am in Christ and my identity, my confidence level will shoot up, because I don't have to take the low seat. I'm seated in heavenly places.
Hello.
I'm in another realm. My pastor taught us the other night, I think he said, we are bilocational people. That means that I can be at two places at one time. What does that mean? Although I'm on earth, I have a seat in heaven.
Come on. Yeah.
So I'm actually at two places in one time, but that's another time, another story. We talk about confidence today. But confidence is it's built up in God. And if you really want to show up as that woman, learn who you are in God first. Allow God to deal with your heart. I am a fanatic about getting inner healing. Like I've learned over the years that 90% of our issues sometimes have to do with us not being healed.
True.
In some area of our life, or our soul being wounded. And so we have to realize that when you have those soul wounds, you're probably not going to have confidence. But when you allow God to heal you, inner healing, meaning I get my soul together, man, you will escalate to another place in your confidence. Because confidence is not just having the latest hair, the nicest hair, the good lipstick. It's not about that. Do those things boost your confidence? Yes. On a physical level, yes, it does. But my real confidence is inside. You can't take this away.
Yeah.
So regardless if I have the outer stuff or not, I'm still confident in who I am in God, because that's my true identity. And I would just encourage people to, if you're feeling low and confident, then ask God, why am I not? Why is my self-esteem low? What happened to me in my childhood that I haven't dealt with, that I need eternal healing from?
Yes.
So I can have that confidence, because you listen, I saw a meme and they said something about Jesus, and it was like, man, you need Jesus to go to Walmart.
Listen.
Confidence to operate and do the will of God.
Yes.
You need full of confidence for that, because you have to be able to stand in the face of it in adversity and stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
Straight up.
And confident knowing that the thing that he has called me to, knowing that he is the author and the finisher of my faith. It all starts spiritual first.
Yes.
And when we get our confidence in God in a spiritual aspect under control, it will show up in our daily lives. It will show up in our businesses. It will show up, in the marketplace. It will show up in our callings that, for which he has called us to do. Yeah. So it all starts with him. All roads lead back to Jesus.
Honestly, I absolutely love this talk. Like, honestly, because I listen, like you said, confidence when it's built in Christ. Because I remember back then I thought I was confident, but I was just broken and just rolling in arrogance, and what I've come to understand, me being confident is owning, and I said this on my last vlog, is owning my true uniqueness, the unique me that God created me to be. And I'm okay with that. And I'm not packaged for everybody, but I'm packaged for somebody.
Hello. What?
You know what I mean? I'm loaded for somebody. You might not be you. And so that's not gonna take me down like, oh my God, maybe. And to be honest, before I got to this place, like rejection, when I felt anything called rejection, I was like, oh my God, there goes my confidence level. It like that thermometer just came down. And every time, and it came down. But now, I guess I'm not packaged for you. I guess I'm not your package. And it's okay. Because everybody can't be for everybody, So I love that. And so for like now, one of the things is, we just got to help another female out there own their true self and let that confidence come on in. And that confidence coming on in is saying, Jesus, I can't do it. You have got to cultivate this, because otherwise I'm gonna make a mess. Lead me to those trigger wounds, Let me tell you something, those triggers will really destroy, confident level also. And so in that, like you said, that internal healing is super important. And you know what, Sarah, what I've noticed, this confidence is not just in women, it's also in men. I've seen, some men are intimidated by, a woman that is established. Right. Because there's a lack of confidence in who you are. And that's why you're intimidated. And sisters being intimidated by sisters, what for? Come on, let's do this together, right? Because the word of God says, one can chase 1,000, but two. So I need my next confident sister with me when I even go in the battle. I need my next confidence, because maybe you're versatile. I am very versatile. Maybe my strong points are in A, B, and C. Yours probably in L, M, and O, P. And I need all of that to work it. So right. I love that. Before we wrap up, I want to say this, being, you put out there right off the bat, I got 5 children. And sometimes, to be honest, some female are afraid of telling somebody that, they got children. I am not about to tell him that I got children. And well, I got 2. And I'm honestly, and this is my story, and please help me. I said, I have 2 children. I'm not honestly looking for a person to take up my responsibility. No, no. They have their dad, right? However, you're gonna have to co-parent. So meaning sometimes you're probably gonna have to step in and say, tighten up to them. Doesn't mean I'm telling you you have to take care of them. They're your sole responsibility. Absolutely. Now, how do you get to that place in being confident where you can put that on display right off the bat? And it's either you accept it or it is what it is.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you brought that up because at one time I was actually ashamed
Wow.
to tell people that, just people in general. I was ashamed that one time I didn't have 5, I had 3, but even at 3, I was still ashamed of that.
Wow.
And I just finally got to a place and say, you know what? Whomever I'm supposed to be with,
yeah,
that's not gonna be an issue for them. It might be a second thought to say, oh my God, she got 5 kids, because I'm so confident in my God and my Father that I know he has somebody special just for me that can handle me and my 5 children. Exactly. So I'm not going to tell people that anymore. And now at one time I was like, dang, whew, 5, that's a lot. When you pass like 2 children, it's like, it's like you got 4 kids, you got 5. But
yeah,
that God has somebody special made just for me.
Right.
So it doesn't bother me anymore because I understand I have to be confident. If I'm not confident in who I am, then I am trying to be something that I'm not.
Exactly. Wow.
I'm ashamed. I'm allowing my past to hinder me. And I'm like, no, I made a decision not to do that anymore. So I confidently say, yes, I have 5 children. And I love to see people's reaction. They're like, oh, she got 5. But I don't listen. That's not going to hurt the person, my mate who I'm supposed to be with. And people, and sometimes it's not even about the opposite sex. Sometimes you tell other women you have 5 and they judge you.
I got 2, but I've been judged a lot.
Hey, like 2, it's like 5. They're like, oh, she must be fast. I don't know about it. Like, oh, let me watch my man around her. Like, listen, I have felt it all. Okay, like
wow.
One lady, and this was a while ago. I think I had 3 children at this time, and I was around 2 sisters. And I was around the sister, and the other sister was like, it's not like, she kept bringing up the conversation. Like, it's not wise to have a single woman around your husband like that. And she kept it up around me. And I'm not going to, yes, I felt some type of way because she kept saying it. Yeah. And I'm saying, girl, I want her husband. What? Like, but that's how some women do. They will assume that, you just some loosey-goosey, as they say. And it's like, no, that's not everybody's story.
And see, that right there is so important. And that's where I was ashamed, because I had my daughter when I was very young. Listen, everybody went off to whatever have you, and I became the dropout. My last year of high school, I became the dropout. So I dropped out of high school. And God is just phenomenal. The way he does stuff, he like taking some messy stuff and just put a lot of super on it and just flip that thing for his glory, And so many years, a lot of times, like, I was like, oh, I have a daughter. I would never disown her, but I was afraid to tell them how old she is. Why? Because it would automatically told when I had her. And so I had her very young. And so for those reasons, I did not want to tell anybody how old she is. And I got away with it because my daughter, she's an adult and she's not more than 5 feet, 9 pounds. Go figure. She's this petite and she's always been petite. So a lot of time people see me with her, they're like, oh, she looked like 10. She looked like 12 and she looked like 10. Meanwhile, she was already 18. And meanwhile, my daughter is 25, right? But let me tell you this much. That girl has been my miracle girl. And I call her my miracle girl for numerous reasons. because
Right.
when I tell you I was in a broken place, and sometimes people don't know the back end, the tail end of where you're coming from. And so they prejudge a thing. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to stay here all day trying to explain to every Miss Jane, Lucy, Mary, Anne Marie, everybody. I can't do it. Period.
Right.
Are you pack? Am I packaged for you? Maybe not. Well, keep on pressing. And so I had to own that because God turned my life around completely. It was with that girl I learned how to believe God, to pray. My belief came up a niche because of her health. You know, she was born with hydrocephalus, and that was a battle girl. When I tell you, I mean, Psalms 27 became my favorite, and to this day, my favorite scripture that I can spit it out right off the bat, you know. And it's with her. I've had trials, I had testimony, many testimonies. Doctor told me that she wouldn't live to see 5 years old. The girl is 25 years old. I don't know how much five in that, but keep on going, right?
Right.
And so I'm, I'm just looking at God, how awesome he is. And even though I was a dropout, God allowed me to finish 2 different degrees. You know, I'm a nurse, I'm author. I've done so many things thanks to the grace of God, but nothing outmatch what God used her life to help build in me. And
Right.
now I say and I own it. This is my baby. Listen to me. This is my daughter. Okay. And how old she is? She is this age. And I got a son, he's 13 going on to 40. Okay, but I'm confident in all of that. But like you said, people prejudge you and they think that you're fast, and it wasn't a fast move. It really wasn't a fast move. Let me tell you something. Another time for another platform, I'll share how I wind up getting pregnant with my daughter. I was so innocent, so innocent, like untouched, and I was the one that got touched, and boom, here she come.
Right.
So you know, just say something for us to wrap up with, you know, on confidence. Give us a nugget, you know, in even in family, because sometimes we get scrutinized, you know, for trying. How do you remain confident in owning even your gifts and your calling? How do you own those? And just know, listen, I'm not competing with you. Let me tell you something. I am not competing with the next sister. She is my biggest competition. I'm my only competition. I'm my only competition. I got to be better than the person I was last month. And so my pastor said, do an assessment, you know, and I'm like, I am doing an assessment very regularly because I got to make sure the errors that I made. And when I tell you errors that I made in January and February, this girl is not making any of those errors in May, in March, in April. And you keep on pressing because, you know, I'm confident that it's not going to go down like that. So how do you remain confident in that, you know, in your spiritual calling?
I would say you remain in a place of humility.
Mm,
Remain in humility and don't be afraid to take inventory. Don't be afraid to really look back and see how far you've came.
mm,
Because sometimes we need that gentle reminder. I'll be very transparent. I actually had one the other day, yesterday, and a memory came up, and I began to just thank God from where He brought me from, and I saw the difference in who I was
mm.
15, 20 years ago versus who I am now.
Wow.
But it came because I decided to be broken before God. The confidence came, but because I decided to allow God to do a work in me, I allowed Him to break those barriers, those lies in my mind. Some
Mm,
people are confident because of the lies of the enemy and the lies that he tells, and so the lies fortify themselves in our minds and in our emotions and our will. And we trying to figure out, well, why can't I be confident like Sister Kamisha? I want to be there. Maybe you haven't taken the time to allow God to destroy those strongholds in your mind,
mm.
because lies of the enemy to our mind will tell us, well, you're not better. You know, we'll play the comparison game. I will say,
True.
well, I'm this. Well, when you allow God to destroy those lies, when you allow your mind to be renewed by the word of God, then you'll begin to see, like, okay, my God, I'm not where I used to be. I'm in a new place now. I'm in a new space. And
Yeah.
once you that mindset, it will be continual. It won't stop. It'll be a continual thing, because I believe that confidence, like I said, is something that we have to decide to have, but it's also something that we have to be aware. You have to be aware. You know, if you're not aware of it, or if you're ignorant to the fact,
Yeah.
you can open yourself up to be arrogant. You know, you thinking it's confidence and it's arrogant, you know, but when you remain in a place of humility before God and just saying, hey, God, I need you to do a continual work in me. Because when we look to him to be our focus, to be our focal point, that's where it's going to be a continual feeling. He's going to continually fill us. Because to be honest, some days we wake up and we don't feel confident.
That's truth. That's the truth. Yeah.
But when we allow God to continually fill us, when we continually be filled with his word, when we continually allow him to reveal who we are in him, what? Your confidence will rise.
Yeah.
But it will rise in a way that you don't have to worry about it leaving. You don't have to, but because you're continually staying at the feet of Jesus. You know, you're continually staying at his feet. You're continually allowing him to make and mold you. And I think and I know that might seem just redundant what I'm saying, but when we really understand the benefits of allowing God to make us and shape us into the identity that he has called us to, confidence comes by default. And when you when you begin to build a track record with God, I back over my life right now and I can say, God brought me through this, he brought me through that, he brought me through this, he delivered me from that. I got a track record with him.
Hello. Yes.
It's clean. His checks never bounce. I have to worry about, going empty with him. Yes. Why? Because he has shown himself to be consistent. And so even in that, I'm able to look back and I'm able to, when I'm feeling a little low, I can say, you know what, God, you brought me through this, you brought me through that. I know you're going to bring me through that. I'm confident in you.
Yeah, head up, put your head up.
Him, it reflects right back to you.
Yeah.
We have to realize, like, listen, when we see that woman that we like, oh, she got confidence, I guarantee you that woman has been broken. I guess she has allowed God to heal her. And I'm not talking about that superficial confidence. I'm talking about when you can really tell, like, oh my God, she's just so confident. How does she do this? How does she move? How does she? Yeah. She's a woman before God. She's a woman that has laid her life, that has allowed God to rebuild her, to build her up to that place.
Yes.
And it's an amazing thing. It's a journey. It's a journey. And I'm excited at this point of my life because now I can testify about it. Now I can tell somebody there was a time where I couldn't do that. Yes. Like I could tell what happened to me without boohoo crying. Like I was like, oh my God, this happened. And, because I was still wounded. Yeah. I was in that hurt place. But when you allow God to heal you, man, your confidence will shoot through the roof.
Yeah, it will, most definitely. I absolutely. We're gonna have to talk more about this in a few weeks because this is like really so important. And like I said, this was so.
Well, I got one more nugget.
One more.
When he said, when he tells you to do something, I say just obey God. That's another way to build your confidence.
Yes.
Because you can, when he tell you to do something, you can do it scared. You might be scared, but just obey him.
Yeah.
And once you obey him and you get halfway out in that water and you realize, you know what, I know he has me, your confidence will shoot through the roof.
All the way out, all the way out.
I digress.
All right, I love it. I love it. Like I said, we're gonna have to talk again because this is so super important. So, I literally from cheek to cheek because I was not always there. At one point, I was afraid to even smile. I had no confidence, no self-esteem. But look at God, and sometimes people from the outside that really don't know the back end of the story will say, really, it's not, it really is that serious. And like you said, you share your story now, not from a place of crying, but you share your story now from a place of God is awesome. And because of that, my confidence is so, it will make impact because our confidence will make impact. I love that.
That's good.
My confidence will make impact,
Yeah,
so because
like
some people will be drawn to that. Even those are broken will be pulled to someone who's confident. Why? Because they're trying to sis, how did you get here? And so there goes the opportunity to say, okay, this is exactly how I allow God, because I love what you said prior. There, if you see a woman that's confident now, at one point in her life, she was broken before, but she allowed God to work on her. Well, this is it for tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much. See, we're going to have to get together again in a few weeks and chit chat a little bit more on confidence. All right. So have yourself a one. Thank you again. I love you, my sister. I love you.
I love you.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.